Hi, we're going to talk today about emotions. Emotions are the energy of life. You cannot do something if you don't have a strong emotion. And on the other hand, you cannot have an emotion and do nothing. I'm talking about a very strong emotion again. For example, if you go and give somebody some excellent news, you will see that they're going to jump, they're going to hug you, they're going to want to celebrate. All of this because they cannot just keep the emotion inside. Now, one thing that I have noticed about emotions is that we tend to disregard the cause of an emotion. We think that emotions come just like that. Whereas when we have an action, we always want to know why this took place. For example, if I tell you that somebody used to be a great executive in Dallas, Texas, and left his family and he moved to the Amazon and he became a social worker, you're going to ask me, why did he do that? So I'll tell you that his wife fell in love with his boss, and he was so disgusted by both of them that he just left. And you'll say, okay, you're not going to ask why she fell in love, because you assume that an emotion just happens. Now, to illustrate this case, and to give you a different perspective on that, I have two very special guests that I brought with me from the 16th century England, even though they are wearing normal clothes. This is Henry VIII. Henry used to be the King of England in the early 1500s, and he was married to Catherine of Aragon, who was herself the daughter of the King of Spain. Now, Henry fell in love with Anne Boleyn, who is also with us today. And he was so madly in love with Anne Boleyn that he decided that he wanted to marry her. And of course, to do this, he had to divorce. Divorcing was impossible because the Catholic Church would not allow it. And the Catholic Church was basically headed by the Pope at the time. So what did Henry do? After a long struggle, he finally removed the title of head of the Church of England from the Pope and attributed it to himself. So he made history at a great expense to him because he fell in love with Anne Boleyn. Now, why did he fall in love? You might just think it just happened like that. But my explanation is that Henry, before he even met Anne Boleyn, was already very frustrated by the fact that he could control his subjects only a certain way, because the Pope also had a certain control over his own subjects, because they also were religious, and religion was the Pope's domain, not the king's domain. So he wanted to get rid of that and become the only ruler, and that was what was inside of him. When he met Anne Boleyn, she gave him the perfect excuse, and she was a perfect catalyst who gave him enough emotions to make this huge revolution in England. To me, every relationship has a reason for being. And in the future, we're going to talk about these kinds of relationships, and we will explain them further. Thank you.